Let's also focus in on a Morepen Laboratories. It's been a good quarter for them. Profit has doubled to about 7 crore rupees. Net revenue has seen a smart bump up as well. Margins, though, have shrunk by about 70 basis points. Sushil Suri, the CMD at Morepen Labs, joins us on the phone line. Thank you for speaking to us. Sushil, just take us through the highlights of the quarter and the reason behind this shrink in margins.
Good afternoon. So I think at a macro level, if you say what's the important highlight of the quarter is that on a quarterly basis, we have grown 24%. On a half-yearly basis, we have grown 19%. So that's a clear indication that there is a consistency and there's a comeback scenario which is coming up. On a profitability also, on a half-yearly basis, we are 93% up, and on a quarterly basis, we are 118% up. So again, it's a level of consistency. And coming to your point, whether margins are really lower, so just a number game. Earlier the numbers were small, so now the numbers are growing up, so percentages may look smaller. But overall, there is a growth, and product portfolio is getting matured. Our major share contribution of the top line comes from API, which is our core business. So we have a growth of 28% on Q2 to Q2 basis, and on a half-yearly basis, we have 26% growth in the API business, which is pretty good in today's market. And coming to the product-wise scenario, Montelukast, which is an anti-asthma drug, which is our lead product for the growth, it has registered 48% growth, which is very good in terms of our targets also. We target that Montelukast will become a 100 crore product in this year, and we are already at 46 crore for the half year, so we are on target. Statins is another area which we are growing pretty fast. Atorvastatin has grown 33%, and we had launched a new molecule, rosuvastatin. So that's almost 200% growth, even though the numbers are small, but on the whole, the API pack is very good. Second growth is coming from diagnostics, wherein our glucomonitor leadership is being cemented, and we have got 51% growth in the glucomonitor sales, wherein we sell glucomonitors and then we sell strips. We have a captive base of around 1 million installations. 1 million glucomonitors are there in the people's home, which regularly use the strips. Then the second, of course, is the BP monitor. And the third line is our OTC products. Bernol has registered a growth of 95% in this quarter. Lemolate is more than 300% growth. So growth story is very good. Exports is doing good, around 26% export growth, 27% domestic growth. All in all, it is good, and profitability we are maintaining. EBITDA numbers look smaller, but there is a reduction in interest because our debt cost is going down. That is why the net profit has jumped. EBITDA margins, of course, there's only because of growth in sales, the expenses are high, commissions are high. Otherwise, there's no specific reason. And looks like, looking at the debt portfolio, we will be debt-free in the coming 18 months. Hello?
Sure. Mr. Suri, sorry to interrupt you. Just very quickly, could you just give us a sense as to how you see exports as well as net domestic sales panning out?
Exports is our main forte, and which has grown at 26%. But last few years, or rather I would say last 4 or 5 quarters collectively, the focus is shifting on the domestic market also, because domestic market is expanding. It really depends on the product portfolio. Loratadine, our earlier product, was not a popular product in India, so we were shy of Indian market. But Montelukast, which is our key product now, this has substantial share in the domestic market. Atorvastatin also goes in the domestic market. And as we go forward, more and more focus on the domestic market would come. Of course, in diagnostic, the process may be reversed. We are starting the manufacturing in India, and we may have to export to small neighboring countries.
Okay. Mr. Suri, very quickly, any pressure points that you anticipate?
I think the overall growth scenario within the country is okay, but certainly there is going to be a pressure point on Europe because the economies are not so good, but we do not have much stake in the European market. Now with this change in the US scenario, so pharma industry is happy that whatever is going on, so will continue. So the US scenario, of course, is always happy for us.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Sushil Suri. That's Mr. Sushil Suri, CMD at Morepen Laboratories, really giving us a sense as to what we've seen with the surge in Q2 earnings, as well as highlights and the sales outlook going forward. We're taking a